Hello, DLF Forum 2021. I am Rachel Wittmann, Digital Curation Librarian, and I'm here with my colleague at the University of Utah, Tallie Casucci, STEM librarian, who also happens to be an expert rock climber. Together, we are thrilled to give you a quick introduction to our research on the inadequacies in metadata for the sport of rock climbing. From our research in digital collections, we've also encountered some commonly mislabeled outdoor activities we'd like to touch on, but most importantly, we created an online resource to help metadata practitioners identify climbing-related activities that they might not be familiar with. But first, Tallie will touch on metadata issues found in scholarly databases.
Climbing is increasingly growing, especially with its recent debut in the Olympics. Within PubMed, the biomedical database, the only MESH or medical subject heading term is mountaineering, which is a problem. For example, this article is about elite speed climbers, not mountaineering, but mountaineering was applied. Additionally, PubMed doesn't always apply mountaineering to these rock climbing or competitive climbing articles, so it's not a catch-all term. This means that researchers may miss key articles. Other scholarly databases also have issues with their controlled vocabularies. For example, we have access to Climbing Magazine in Sport Discus. This article about Salt Lake women climbers was tagged with stair climbing and women tennis players, neither of which are mentioned in this article.
So when we started digging into the metadata found in our digital collections, we ran into a lot of mislabeled activities and images as well. So that was a part of our research project to correct these issues. Here you can see an image of a man who was identified as rock climbing, but he truly is rappelling. Our solution was to leverage the Yosemite Decimal System, also known as YDS, a rating system used by climbers in the United States to choose appropriate climbs. YDS is cross-referenced to other national and regional rating systems around the world. Metadata practitioners can utilize YDS to identify and better describe climbing-related content. So we mapped the YDS framework to LCSH terms and other recommended metadata practices. This can be found on our online resource that we created called Climbing Metadata, found at climbingmetadata.lib.utah.edu. So this contains that YDS system I just mentioned, as well as definitions and visual guides of climbing-related sports to assist metadata practitioners when they're working with outdoor recreational materials. And we'd love to hear any feedback. If you have some, please feel free. So I'll quickly take you through some commonly misidentified outdoor activities, starting with rock climbing. Rock climbing involves climbing a vertical rock face using a rope, belaying, or protective gear. So the key identifiers that you're looking for in an image of rock climbing are a climbing rope, harness, belayer, rock climbing shoes, a chalk bag or chalk, and in more recent images, you may actually see helmets. And there is an LCSH term for this called rock climbing that we recommend using. Scrambling is a little bit more difficult. Scrambling is an activity in between hiking and rock climbing that often involves almost crawling up a very steep face. So feet are usually placed in small cracks and edges while hands are used for balance. Scrambling typically occurs during a hike when a very steep incline needs to be crossed in order to reach a destination. As you can see on the right, that's very steep. There is not an LCSH term for scrambling yet, so we recommend including the term scrambling in titles and descriptions, and using the LCSH term hiking or rock climbing, depending on where you think that activity falls in the YDS scale. Lastly, rappelling is often mislabeled as rock climbing, but rappelling is a technique used to descend on a rope using friction. Climbers and canyoneers often use this activity. Key identifiers to rappelling are a person is holding a line of rope instead of the rock. The body position is leaning away from the rock in a balanced embrace position. More modern rappellers use harnesses and a device that can be wrapped around the body. And there is an LCS term for rappelling, so we recommend using that. And that's it. Please check out our resource, climbingmetadata.lib.utah.edu, and send us any feedback. Thanks.